Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I haven't done my homework in years. Actually, every single day I do my homework. I've got at least two things I know I need to do before I go to bed tonight. It's already, close to midnight. It's going to be a somewhat lengthy night. However, good news is that I've got some top tips for doing homework as submitted by Tyler Kime, also known as Luke403 in chat. He's a student currently, and he thought he'd pass along some tips, hopefully after he finished his homework, not, before. So, if you struggle with getting your homework done, here's some ways that can help you GTD. Number 1, make sure all of your materials are at home or with you. For example, bring all your books home to ensure that your work is done correctly. I also recommend that you keep a drawer, shoebox, etc., any organized space full of things that may be necessary to do your work. You may also want to include pencils, rulers, calculators, colored pencils, paper, scissors, and even a stapler. Like a red stapler. I had a stapler, and I kept this one because they replaced it, and it doesn't work as well as the swing line. I do recommend red staplers. That is my choice. And it is very true. I think less so today than it was in the past. If you do leave your textbook at, let's say, at school, one suggestion might be to go to Google and do a search for that book. Either Amazon may have the content indexed, Google may have the content indexed. Content, not contact. There is no word like contact, at least not yet. So, even if you have left a book somewhere else, you might want to check online. There may be a something similar, if not the very same version, right there, so you don't have to travel very far. Number 2, don't go to bed for homework, as you may get too comfortable to work or fall asleep. Your computer desk is another bad place to do homework because you could get distracted. Hey, I got an email! It happens more often than not. Put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. When I need to get something done, I have to forcefully remove myself from the room. You'll notice very often I will take a lot of the phone calls, away from my desk. And that's not exactly homework, but the reason why, and I'm relating it, is because I need to concentrate on the phone. And have you ever had these conversations with somebody on the phone? Yeah. Yeah. Or worse yet, are you that person? Knock it off. Just walk away from the computer. Nothing is that important, especially if the call is more important. Now, if the call isn't important, then you have my permission to... Yeah, No, I'm good. No, I'm fine. Mouse. Sorry, that was my sound effect for... There's an equivalent for homework. Remove yourself from distraction. Important. Number 3, do your homework right after school. I know as a student, some people have extra activities to get to before they even get home. But it is true, the sooner you get something out of the way, the better off you're going to be. And if you're someone who thrives by completing things at the last second, good luck. I've never been that kind of person. I'm more the get it done sooner rather than later, because you never know what's going to happen later. You never know. Number 4, take all the time you have to do your work in class. For instance, if you have a test that you might get done with early, take your stuff from the class you have homework in with you. I absolutely don't recommend doing your homework in the middle of class when your teacher is giving a lesson. Also, use all of your study hall time you get to get it done. I have often found that I can get my homework done this way. I don't have to deal with it at home. So he's saying homework can be done at school, and I would most certainly, I would agree. I totally use study hall time. Any extra time that I had while I was at school, I took advantage of, because it's easier to do that kind of work in that environment. And plus, peers were around to ask questions if I had questions. I didn't have the internet to turn to ask questions. The only thing my computer could do was beep, and that was only after I programmed about 500 lines of basic code. Number 5, if you get home and realize that you don't get something, go in that class the next morning before the start of school and ask for help. I'm not sure if this would work in high school or college, but if not, call a friend. If you don't have friends, sorry, you're out of luck. I don't want to say, I don't think it's true. In fact, I think it's easier to reach out to friends these days, whether it's audio chat, video chat, um, you know, text messages, IM, email. If they're not responding, well, maybe they're just not your friend. Maybe they don't like you. Um, you know, you may be a nerd. You may actually be a geek, and the world just doesn't like you yet until, of course, you have moved on and become an adult geek, and even then, the world may still not like you. Just keep that in mind. But the key point is, and I think this was just mentioned by Rattlesnake, always ask for help. Always. I do agree with the dumbest question is the question not asked. And if you're not taking advantage of the knowledge pool around you, you're not doing yourself any favors at all. And I see a lot of that behavior, will follow you through life. And I know I deal with a lot of people, and I'm not going to name any names, who get stuck somewhere and then don't ask questions and then leave a task like floating out in the middle of nowhere until someone follows up with them. And that's not easy to deal with, but I've learned how to deal with that kind of behavior. Those people tended to be the people who A, didn't have to ask questions, or B, just didn't ask questions. Ask questions. Number 6, take occasional breaks. It'll help concentrate more as you do it. Instead of sitting down for an hour at a time to study something, break it up. Every 20 minutes, get up, walk around. I wouldn't necessarily tie yourself into some kind of video game because you'll definitely get sucked into it. Just something where you can do some other kind of timed activity, whether it's walk around the block, just clear your head, especially if you get stuck on a problem. The worst thing you can do if you're stuck on a problem, you can't figure it out, is just sit there and just pore over it. Because I guarantee the minute you step away from the desk and are doing something else, washing dishes or doing chores or doing something else, the answer is going to come to you, or a solution is going to come to you, because you're not steeped in the middle. You're not concentrating on it. It's in the back of your head, and you're kind of like thinking about it, but you're not deep in thought. And that works. That's not just for homework. That's for anything, any problem that you run into. So, I appreciate this list, Luke 403. Certainly, you've applied this to homework, but I think these are really life skills that anybody could use and take advantage of. I mean, certainly some of these things are more relevant for people who are in school, but regardless. Fort says power naps. I would disagree because my power naps became a little too powerful, and it wasn't really a nap so much. It was 8 to 12 hour rest, sleepy time. Did you see that? By the way, I was interacting with the chat room because this is live. The video that we're streaming out is happening live. We read tips, and when you submit them to me, whether they're related to school, homework, study, getting things done, productivity, life in general, we typically talk technology, but I'll take any top list that you might have. My email address is chris@pirillo.com in the chat room, which is interactive fully all the time. They're typically talking tech. Gaming, less about homework. Why don't they ever give video games for homework, I mean, why? I mean, unless, of course, you're going to a video game school. But, I mean, why didn't you do 14 levels of Tetris and don't come back until you have? Gotta cram for that Pac-Man test on Friday. I hate that teacher. Man. It just, you never hear it. You never hear it. And my degree is in English education. I could have been your high school English teacher. If I could say English. Let me try that again. I was almost your high school English teacher. Or possibly junior high English teacher. And I would have assigned Tetris for homework. Don't know how I would have gotten away with that. I likely would have been fired. And that's why I work for myself. Regardless, you're welcome to stop by the chat room. Maybe ask a few questions about homework. We may tell you to go to Google, but that's okay. We still welcome you as a part of the live community since we're streaming it live and we're interacting live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.